Hi everyone, I'm Chavez, and today I'm going to present to you my talk exhibition 2025. But wait, I don't think I can do the presentation here, so let's change the place. Well, here we are, and thanks to the magic of editing, we're at school. So I'm going to present my first subject, that is a marker. First of all, I select the markers as I asked my mom once to buy me one in order to write formulas or make annotations in a certain board that I have at my house. And that has really helped me to remember lots of information that I wouldn't actually remember it if I couldn't have the opportunity to write them on a place that I remember. Hence, I found two main perspectives. First one shows how some tool materials can benefit in the process of creating or acquiring knowledge. Tools like markers are commonly used for making annotations on boards, and during this process, the markers facilitate the acquisition of knowledge, processed on several ways. For example, thanks to their attractive color, in this case this one is completely blue, great blue by the way, and that might help. It's proved by several scientists and some projects that the annotations in beautiful or attractive colors do help at the moment of memorizing information. Apart from that, production of knowledge can be modified as the one with the marker desires to. It can vary depending on his own way to remember concepts or formulas. For example, with the markers, I can create drawings or mind maps about certain topics in order to make them more understandable and easier for me. For example, I personally consider myself a great student at maths, yet for mental calculus I struggle a little bit more. Hence, I could use either my notebook here or the board, and anything they ask me, I can write it. For example, I don't know, I have 2 homeworks by the end of the week, so they are now written, and well, I hope I won't forget them. And finally, some Easter egg of this is that, for example, the drawing of the Little Prince that is actually here, and here it is. You know, the author in the book says that he as a child think that this drawing that he made was a boa snake eating an elephant, yet people like the adults could not see that. So he drew the elephant here in order to make it more clear, hence helping the adults to get the knowledge or the perspective he was doing. Now, I don't have the ability to draw the actual elephant here, but I think that's a real clear example of how the markers or drawings can be used in order to shape or acquire knowledge. Now we go back to the house. Okay, we're back. Finally back. That was a long way. Where for my second object, I do not have something really planned. So why don't we choose from this great library here? Let's see. A geography? No, not now. Astrology. I'm not a dummy. Sorry, not today. Well, let's see. Ooh, French. Okay, this might be a pretty good option here. So let's see. What can we learn from this great object? My French IB book. Well, I consider this book as a tool written by alleged experts of the language, and the main expectation is that these kind of books will provide a real and clear knowledge for everyone. This has been the book I've been used for over my 2 years of talk, and I've been doing homeworks and extra jobs in this book, and I consider it has really helped me to be better at the French language. Now, we find two main perspectives. As a book, its main purpose is to help the reader at the moment of acquiring knowledge based on several methods. Books can offer long explanations, repetitive exercise, or images in order to improve the process of knowledge acquisition. If a student wants to improve at a certain grammatical time or increase his vocabulary, for example, he can use the book in order to achieve those goals. The book contains several types of exercise based on the same topic that can be used by the student in order to reinforce his knowledge. However, seeing it differently, these types of tools are commonly used by teachers as their key source to base their activities or syllabus. Hence, if the information contained by the book is wrong, then the whole acquisition of knowledge process might be affected by giving incorrect or not understandable information. Hence, a correct version of this type of tools needs to be continuously verified and monitored. In close, we can say that this object can be used for the acquisition of knowledge at several points of the process, especially on the reinforcement of knowledge. However, it needs to be fully correct and checked by several specialized sources or people in order to avoid possible misinterpretations or confusion for the readers. Well, that's all for my part, but there's one object left, and I cannot present to you. Let me send you to someone else. Well, hello there. I'm Dr. Chavez, and yes, I'm a really good scientist. All those diplomas are mine. Well, I need to help Carlos for his exhibition, so let's start. First object, please. A stone? Nah, too basic. An Olmec head? Yeah, good thing, but not quite my domain. Come on, something good. Damn, a meteorite. I can work with this. Well, first of all, this meteorite belonged to my grandfather's mineral collection, and last time I went to their house, he gave me this meteorite. This object is useful for providing a clear explanation, apart from being considered a genuine evidence that can be used in order to verify theories. Personally, I can say that I remember most of the explanation my grandfather gave me about meteorites due to the fact that I got the opportunity to interact with a real one. Thus, the explanation was more understandable and didactic. One perspective is that this particular material can be used by experts in order to prove or increase the reliability on theories. We know that what's a meteorite due to the similarities in texture, shape, and material made of comparison to similar formations found. Hence, it can be used for comparison. For example, if any object's impact on Earth's surface, scientists can determine if it can be classified or not as a meteorite, thanks to the data collected by previous evidence, and it can also be used to test different relations between several aspects on domains such as chemistry, physics, or biology. Yet, if analyzed differently, material tools such as tangible physical objects can affect the process of knowledge acquisition by assumptions made with it. If we only consider that meteorites are similarly shaped like the object presented, other objects can be classified like meteorites yet not looking similar shape to the image that can create variates in the knowledge acquisition as the term is limited to a certain object, just like this. And that counts with the specific characteristics that this object has, thus losing knowledge from the ones that also can be different on view or material, can yet give us several information about outer space bodies. In close, it can be stated that this object can be used for the validation or verification from several scientific theories, hence benefiting the process of acquiring knowledge due to its dynamic function. However, it can create fake assumptions on young learners that affect future knowledge or skill possibilities. I think that's all from my part. See you there. Well, thanks, Doc. That was great. And with that, my exhibition of Doc 2025 comes to an end. Hope you enjoyed. See you there.